An abandoned white baby is found inside a treasure chest and raised by a clan of Japanese ninjas. The 1990s was a wild time to be a kid. The cast of Saturday Night Live was at the top of their game and branched out into a slew of predictable movies with lazy scripts that relied solely on the star power of their leads, and there were so many of those mediocre movies that I loved. I was a massive Chris Farley fan, and in 1997, when Beverly Hills Ninja came out, I would have told you that my all-time favorite movie was the Chris Farley David Spade buddy comedy Tommy Boy. I could not have been more excited about Beverly Hills Ninja for two reasons. First, it starred my comedy hero, Chris Farley. And second, it was about ninjas and co-starred Robin Shou, who played Liu Kang in the Mortal Kombat movie, and Keith Cook, who played Reptile in the Mortal Kombat movie. Now, throughout the mid-1990s, I spent an embarrassing amount of time playing Mortal Kombat, and even now, I have an original Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinet in my basement. To say I was excited for Beverly Hills Ninja was an understatement, and when I finally saw it, it was good. Wasn't great, but it was good. The plot, as predicted, was paper thin. It was just your typical fish out of water story. Actually, it was a double fish out of water story. First, Farley's character Haru had no business being raised and trained by ninjas. He was a clumsy fat white guy. And then, when the plot gets going, he leaves Japan and goes to Beverly Hills. He has no business being outside of that Japanese ninja camp, which is the only place that he's ever known. Farley carries this entire movie with his physical comedy and lovable oaf persona. It's hard not to care for him and root for him because he is so well-meaning and full of heart, but he's also not too smart and he's very clumsy. The plot structure plays out a lot like an Inspector Gadget cartoon, where Inspector Gadget gets all of the credit even though he continuously fails, and all the real work is done secretly by his much more competent companion Penny. In this case, Haru tries and fails continuously, but never realizes it because his ninja brother Gobei is secretly helping him along the way. The plot follows Haru from Japan to America, where he tries to help a white woman named Allison Page, played by pre-Desperate Housewives Nicolette Sheridan, who fears her husband may be into some bad stuff. The supporting cast is rounded out by bellhop Joey, who is played by SNL alum and comedy legend Chris Rock. What makes it work is how much Chris Farley sells that physical humor. I think the entire budget was spent on smashed plate glass windows and splintered coffee tables. Beverly Hills Ninja was not a big hit, and it didn't really win over audiences back in 1997. But over the years, it has gained more of a cult status, and sadly became the last time we got to see Chris Farley in his element on the big screen. He was in Almost Heroes and Dirty Work, which came out after Beverly Hills Ninja, but he didn't lead those movies like he did Beverly Hills Ninja. Chris Farley died just a few months after the release of this movie, but he wasn't the only tragic death from the movie. Sadly, the boy who played young Haru, Jason Davis, also passed away in 2020 at the age of 35. All these years later, and anytime I say the word shrimp, my friend Jeremy knows exactly what I'm talking about. Nothing makes us laugh harder than Chris Farley as that hibachi chef. My favorite SNL skit of Farley is when he is a Chippendales dancer alongside Patrick Swayze, and we get a nice little play on that in Beverly Hills Ninja as well. The movie screams cheap SNL money grab. The script isn't great, and neither is the acting. The success of the movie rests solely on Chris Farley's back. He provides all of the humor, all of the heart, all of the likability, and more over-the-top physical comedy than you can shake a stick at. It's not a good movie, but it is a movie I hold a strong nostalgic attachment to. Chris Farley always gave his all. I just wish he could have seen how his legacy is 30 years later and know how much he is truly loved by his fans. Trying to do a job you aren't qualified to do. Climbing palm trees. Trying to do a job you aren't qualified to do. Going through a car wash blindfolded in a convertible. Trying to do a job you aren't qualified to do. Looking good in leopard print.